Hello, welcome. Welcome to the Sunday. Almost December 2020. Almost December 2020. Okay, can I get an amen? Can I get a high five? Can I get a double five? There we go. I like to do the air five nowadays with my kids. How are you guys when you're jumping on here? Say hello. You can notice I'm bouncing a little bit. I'm sitting on my bouncy ball. Wanted to try something new here to talk to you guys. So first thing is first, I want to tell you about the 24-hour sale we have going on right now. It is the Vocal Video Self-Express bundle along with the Vocabulary Confidence package. Now, I normally sell these things differently because one is a coaching package and the other one is just something you can watch on your own and build the vocabulary that you need to be more self-expressed. Some of you have been watching me get on here pretty frequently. Right now I'm doing a 30-day challenge and you're like, you know what? Where does she learn some of these tips? How does she feel so confident going online and talking to who knows who is going to show up out of the 2,000 plus people I have in my world? And the thing is, it's a bit of technique, but it's mostly sitting back into who you really are and being okay with that. Because I have friends that are super self-expressive, they're outgoing. I'm a little more internal, but I've had to work on my outgoingness a bit to drive up the energy. But I've also been in the performance world and I know what it takes to turn it on. And not that I'm turning it on to fake it, to make it. That's not the thing. I'm on here really to connect with hearts. And so if you're a heart-centered leader, if you're somebody who wants to be more expressive in their heart-centeredness, this is something that will really help you. And so normally I sell the video, self-express video for $297, and right now I have a bundle price for $199. So that is an amazing deal, and I think it'll really help you up level. If you're at the place, if you have the itch and you're ready to get to that next place of, you know what, it's time. It's time for me to tell my story. It's time for me to be in the bandwagon of all the other people that I follow on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And I'm as important just as they are. And some of those people, they shouldn't even be on there. Like, you have these thoughts and you have these feelings and you know deep inside that this is for you. This is a package that you really should jump on. And the thing is, with the coaching, I help you one-on-one. So this is the thing, like, there's a lot of people who can really be great business women, but at the end of their video, they drop the energy and it loses their audience. Or sometimes there's a way that women are speaking on camera that makes them very egotistical and really full and high and mighty, and it really pushes away. It's not authentic. And then there's also the label of vocabulary. There's a level of vocabulary that you should be using to meet your audience where you are. And so I work with a lot of creatives, and if you're not using creative language in the creative message that you're expressing, like you're a painter or a singer or a musician, and you're not expressing what it is you have to share, how are people going to know what it is that they can arrive and see when you're there right in front of them? What is it that they're going to get from what you're presenting? So I really help you with that. I also help you just kind of set up and try, different ways of looking, because everyone thinks that they have to look perfect, but that's absolutely not the truth. And a lot of people who don't look perfect, a lot of people would like to watch and see what they have to say too, just because of who they are. Just because of they are enough, because of who they are. So that is the first thing. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is let's dive into the type of sales that we have. Now, if you follow me, you are someone who probably does yoga, you're probably eating really healthy meals, you'll probably have kids at home running around, or if you're single, you're probably walking your dog around, because I'm like a big dog lover, even though I don't have a dog, right? Always posting pictures on my Facebook. But you're somebody who's really there to help more people. You're there to make a bigger impact in the world. you really want to impact them in everything you do, whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be work, whether it be your own entrepreneurial business, whatever it is, that's really what's driving you. And so you're looking at all these facilities and how you can be more impactful. And I just want you to sit back and really think about, there are many ways that other people are making an income, and it is not in a good way. They're selling cigarettes. They're in a very unhealthy business. There is sex trafficking. There are many different ways that people make money that are not in alignment with making a better world, right? But those are not the people that follow me. And you know why I know that's true is because I don't put up with that. I also don't laugh at jokes that are made around that. And it's not like I'm like a stickler, like, oh no, don't make those type of jokes around me. No, I definitely have a sense of humor. It's just when it comes to me and who I'm going to work with and who I'm aligned with and who I'm choosing to spend my time and to be around, it's not going to be those type of people, and it's probably not going to be your type of people either. So I just wanted to remind you that the ideas that you have around what it is that you're doing are probably really, really good, okay? Okay, so that was the second thing. And I was gonna jump into resilience today because that's one of the topics that has been really very interesting in my neck of the woods. So one time I was in a training and someone was asking about the word resilience and what does that mean? And someone in the audience was like, well, you know what? I just bought this house and we had a flood. And so I ran downstairs and I told my wife to grab the kids and, you know, I took care of it all. I cleaned it up. We finished dinner, all the things, right? That was one type of being resilient. Then someone else was saying, you know, a lot of the students I work with are resilient because they experience trauma on a daily basis. Their parents are abusive towards one another, emotionally and then physically. That's normally how it goes. It starts emotional and then becomes physical. They've also experienced like just physical violence outside of that, between their cousins, between their aunts, their uncles, their grandparents, even grandparents. Can you imagine? But it's true. And so we were talking about this word resilience, and I was thinking, you know, when are the times in my life that I've been resilient? And it's so funny because, you know, resilience and trauma can be so overused, but when you notice it in the basic realm, it's actually very simple. So when you think of trauma, it could be something very simple as, for example, when I was in third grade, I was told to play a certain game outside every day on the recess yard. It was kickball. And I was tired of playing kickball every day. And so I told my parents I don't want to do this. And they said, go tell the teacher, you know, ask the teacher nicely, you know, don't be rude. Just ask her if you can play something else. And so the other third grade class, they were able to walk around and do whatever they wanted to do. But ours, we had to play kickball. This was like mandated, okay? So I get all in my head and I'm ready. I'm normally not the kid that walks up to the teacher because, again, we talked about this a couple days ago, you know, the whole paradigm of wanting to be accepted and wanting to be the good girl, wanting to do everything perfect and get the good grades and, you know, be showered upon with like good jobs. Of course, that's what I wanted. So I go up to this teacher and I tell her, I remember saying, I was like, is there any way that we could play something different than kickball? And the teacher took her arm and she put her arm against the wall and she leaned in and she looked down at me and shook her head. I literally remember every moment here. And she said, do you not understand how important playing kickball is every day? And for you to even come up to me and ask this question, I mean, she really dumbed me down. And the tears just started coming and going, and I was so embarrassed. And all the kids were watching this happen, and Melissa's not usually the one that stirs the pot, so what's going on over there, you know? So Needless to say, this affected me in some type of trauma, right? And so at the time, I was like, I'm strong. I can get through this. I'll be okay. But I held that memory. I mean, just hear how I told the story. I remember how she looked, how she was speaking, all the things, right? And I remember her just like making me feel so little, but yet me feeling like, you know, as painful as that was, I can hold this. And so somewhere in my body, I held on to that somewhere inside of me, right? And so we talk about somatic release. I'm going to relate this to something that happened yesterday. So yesterday, what happened was I was triggered, hi Ash, by something that happened. I had a conversation with somebody really simple, and all these emotions, these painful feelings started like coming up in my body. And I was like, you know that feeling you're just like, I gotta get out of the house. I gotta go for a walk. I gotta look at something different. You know, it's like all these feelings, right? And so in my head, I was like, what I'm dealing with right now is nothing compared to what I've been through in the past, right? So I was like, Melissa, calm down. But my body had a totally different story. My body was like, warning, warning, you need to move. You need to get out. Danger, you know, impending doom. And so I got in the car, I went for a drive, and then I started doing all the things I know to somatic release. So this might sound funny to some of you guys, but yelling is actually a really good way, and singing, of somatic release and balancing the nervous system. And so as you know, I'm really into the nervous system and how it works. And so I did that. That was the first thing. The next thing I did was I went to the gym and I got on the bike and I did that a little bit. And then I went on to the treadmill. So I did just some movement to move the energy that was so built up in me. Because the thing is, I know myself so well. If I didn't do those two things, those are the first two things, I would have gotten sick today. I would have woken up, I would have had a cough, I would have had, you know, something going on with me that wouldn't feel good in my body because I wasn't releasing it, okay? So now today I was able to really, you know, talk through what it is that happened yesterday. And I really put two and two together and had nothing to do with what was happening yesterday. It had everything to do with the trauma I experienced 4 years ago with my ex. And so all of those emotions were just coming up and roaring at me and making me feel uncomfortable and making me question myself. And that's like the last thing we need to be doing at this time. It's the last thing we need to be doing. We don't need to be questioning ourselves. We need to be knowing in ourselves, I'm enough, I'm safe, I'm smart, I'm good, I got this, I can let this go. So I'll tell you a couple more things I did was I did a little journaling and I made sure I got some really good sleep. And I reached out to a trustworthy friend, and that was really helpful too. So, you know, being aware of all the tools I have is really empowering because now I can look back 24 hours later and think, wow, I did pretty good compared to the past where maybe I would be crying in circles, and circles means, in circles means you cry, it goes out of your body, and then you make up a decision of why you shouldn't release it, and it comes back into your body. So crying in circles is you're trying to release, you're not letting it go because you feel like you deserve to feel this painful memory or this painful emotion, or you're not good enough, and so then you bring it back in. A lot of people do this without even knowing. And so I hope that this story is helpful for you to use in your own life because, man, oh man, if you don't have these tips and tools, you can go in circles for years and years and years. And this is why I love the industry of women helping other women. This is why I type about it. This is why I talk about your higher self and your super conscious and your subconscious, because all these things work together in order to better who you are as a being, right? So I will leave it at that, guys. I hope that was helpful. And let me see. Is there anything else that I wanted to? Okay, I will jump into more things tomorrow. I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday. Make it productive, make it organized, make it willing to go up into 2021 with a positive vibe, full of love, full of self-love, and then overflow it into everyone in your world. Love you much. I'll see you soon.